and welcome to our public inquiry today to decide about the coastal protection along the Holderness coast, in particular at Tunstall. Okay, and we've got with us today various stakeholders from the local area. We have with us our expert group of geologists and engineers. We have our local people represented, and we also have the council who are here to make the final decision. So the council are going to be listening very carefully to what all the stakeholders are saying today before they make their final decision. And what we would like to do is listen to everybody's point of view and then questions at the end. Okay, I believe we're going to start with Mr. Javier over here, who is a geologist. Mr. Javier, if you could take the floor, please.
Good afternoon, councillors.
Good afternoon.
Well, people from the council, farmers, well, the Tunstall coast. This is a problem that we're going to discuss today. The Tunstall coast is on this coast along here. Well, to create sea defenses along all this coast will cost millions of millions that probably we don't have. Well, also the coast is made up of a really soft rock called boulder clay that when it rains it transforms into a type of mud that makes it even easier to erode these parts.
Yeah.
Well, if there's another problem, the longshore drift. What is the longshore drift? Well, it's very easy. The longshore drift is the process where the sea goes diagonally in and out to the coast, and in this part here, when the sea comes in the beach, well, it gets some sediments and transported to another zone that could be here. Well, the problem is that what happens if we put sea defenses maybe in this part of the coast? Well, that the longshore drift will stop of getting sediments from the beach. So in these places, in these zones, the sediment won't be anymore. So there would be a thing called sediment starvation. Sediment starvation would increase in these zones of here the rate of erosion. So overall, I think that sea defenses construction is nonsense.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Javier. Next we've got our engineer. We've got Mr. Obdulio. Sorry, I do apologise. We've got our environmentalist, Mr. Obdulio, who's going to come and speak to us about his concerns about the future plans. Come on, Obdulio.
Hello, me as an environmentalist, my point is we need to let the natural process continue with its process. We shouldn't interfere. I have two reasons for this. The first one is the nature will fix all the problems. Why spending money now when in the future we will not have to spend any money? Because the nature will fix all these problems. The second is the plant and animal tend to cope very well with the problems. So it would be a good idea not to put sea defenses. Me, I object to put seawalls and barriers. Why? Because it costs a lot of money, and the government has to spend the money in other things like houses, schools, hotels, hospitals, which are more important than the erosion. I agree to cliff regarding and management retreating. For example, if there is a caravan here, it will get affected by erosion, but if we put it here, it will no longer be affected. This is called management retreating. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and we have our last expert now. We have Mr. Oster, who is an engineer who specialises in coastal defences, and he's going to tell us what our various options are.
Yes, I'm going to talk about sea protection methods. My first option is gabions. There are heavy stones in steel-made cages. As you can see here, that is gabion, and you can make this from recycled material. So It will last at least 5 years, and they are very effective protecting the base of the cliff, as you can see. And the land and buildings behind are protected also. Now I'm going to introduce you the second method. It's called riprap and bridge replacement. They are large boulders of resistant rock, and they look quite natural. They absorb wave energy and protect the land behind. Then you can add some sand to the coast. This sand looks quite natural, and they can be attractive for the tourists. They are quite cheap, and they absorb wave energy and protect the coast too. So I think these two options is best to protect this holderness coast.
Thank you very much for your expert advice, Mr. Oscar. Okay, so the council here, you have heard so far from the experts. Okay, we've had our environmentalist, our geologist and our engineer. Next we're going to hear from the local people who are represented here, firstly by Mr. Adrian, who is a local farmer and landowner along this coast.
Yes. So, what us, the farmers, what we really want is to protect this coastline, because it's being very rapid eroding by its soft clay, and this is a big problem for us because we are going to lose our possessions of farms. Then we will lose money, and this will cause us to have less money to spend to buy food and to feed our children. So it's not a very good thing, this rapid erosion. Another point is that also here there are many caravans and lorries, and here are houses and maybe hospitals or schools, and if we leave it erode, we will lose money, and then we will have to spend more money on building them more far away. So what I propose is to build a big seawall that will cost us a lot of money, but in the end it will be a lot more cheaper, because if we move the houses from here to here, when the erosion gets up to here, we will have to move them again. So that is not a very good point. It makes no sense.
Okay, thanks very much, Mr. Palmer. Next, we have another person representing the local business community, Mr. Guillermo, who I believe is a local hotel owner. You own a hotel in the village.
That's right. I'm a local hotel owner. Firstly, good morning to everyone. You know that this rapid erosion is causing each year is retreating 2 meters. Imagine calculating how many 10 years. Well, me as an important person, responsible person for the tourism sector of this village, I'm totally in favor of putting as a solution beach replenishment, because it will stop some erosion. This is the main point for everyone. We want to stop this erosion. This is a solution. This is the main objective of the village. The best thing for the tourism sector by putting beach replenishment is that the people will still come to our places, to our hotels, to here, to Tunstall. Because this solution doesn't make the beach look ugly. You know, doesn't make the beach look ugly like maybe sea walls, other things. This is good because tourism needs to be here. It's part of our economic growth, it's part of our profit. Another good thing of beach replenishment is that by the process of longshore drift, as my partner Javier has just mentioned, a geological process, this sediment will be transported down to Sponhead, that is at the south of this coast. This is very good, you know. Many geologists might think now in this conference, well, but the sediment is too weak, it will be carried away very easily. Well, it's cheap, we can replace it again when it's moved away, we can replace it again. That's the solution. That's very good. I am totally in favor for this. That's it all. You want to know where is Esperanza? It's here. It's on the south of the coast. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, and finally, we have Mr. Mario. Who is it that you represent today, Mr. Mario?
Good morning to everyone. I'm the caravan park owner. This caravan.
Okay, I'll zoom in and we can see your caravan park, Mr. Mario.
This is my caravan park. Park. My solution is to put hard engineering on this part, like seawalls. It might be expensive, but my caravan park provides jobs and a place to live for lots of people in the area. Another solution we can make, as my friend Obi said, is managed retreat, which consists in letting this part erode and putting more concrete in here. And the same will happen to these houses. They will let them erode and put them again far away from the coast. And that's it. And that's my solution. But that will get space from the farmers in here. But I think it will be better for the people.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mario. That's great. So we've heard from our experts and we've heard from our local community. So now it's over to the council, who are going to tell us what they've finally decided to do about the problem of rapid coastal erosion at Tunstall. Councillors, what would you like to say to us?
Please walk.
Would you like to come up? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mario. Councillor, you're my partner.
Mr. Councillor.
Okay. Us, the local council, has decided to do nothing. Why? Well, because it's very expensive to build through all the Holderness coast.
Well, that's not fair.
Shh! You had your turn. Listen to me now. Another point is the natural process. This is nature. We don't have to interfere. We also have to spend on schools, public zones, etc. And we can spend on sea walls. Where should we get the money from? Because we have to spend also in roads, hospitals, and infrastructures. Everyone will go to schools, and a very few people live in Tunstall. It's not balanced. Sam, do you want to say something more?
Yes, if we just looked at Tunstall, then we could put